for the pension funds for the British.
No.
So we have the derivatives market that's tied indirectly to British Petroleum and the pension funds, and this is a political football that Obama is now basically doesn't want to go there, even if it destroys the people in the Gulf or kills millions of people.
I understand. Let me ask you a question about the oceans, Dr. Bill. This is a question which I'm getting asked by a lot of people. How much oil does it take to actually pollute the Atlantic and even go all the way around the world and create a major mess in the oceanic ecosystem as a whole? How much oil does it take to do that? Or is there enough seawater to dilute everything and we don't really need to worry about it on a global scale?
If we stopped it right now, the oceans themselves would bioconvert the oil into biological material, and it would probably in the long run actually cause a bloom of sea life.
Okay.
The problem is things like Corexit. I think that if it continues, though, the danger is it'll change what's called the flow, because remember, the waters have a circulatory flow, so in other words, whatever pollution has been released now will circulate the planet in the next 2 years. So even if they stopped it today, those millions of gallons will have toxins that will get into the biosphere. They will increase the dead zones in the oceans, which will decrease the oxygen generation. And it'll take a while for the oceans to recover, but they will, just like they have, because most people aren't aware that there was an oil spill in 1979 further south near the Yucatan Peninsula when the Mexicans got into a large oil deposit like this back in 1979, and they had 140 million gallons of oil that they assumed was released by that spill. Most people don't refer back to that. The current spill that we have now is somewhere estimated around 116 million gallons of oil, so it's actually not the biggest. The biggest one was off Mexico in 1979.
But we're rapidly getting to that point, and we don't really know how many...
Right, and well, my guess is that they could stop it tomorrow if they just simply used a ring of micronukes.
Mm-hmm.
And if they allowed all the help to come in to stop it from hitting the shores. For example, the white beaches of the Florida Panhandle are some of the nicest beaches on the planet. Mm. So they run the risk that they're going to do a mortal wound to America. And I think America will come back, but it's going to come back being a different country, because they may well enact a martial law in the southern United States. They may do mass FEMA evacuations, but they want the population. After Katrina, they tried a kind of a trial of martial law. Now I think they want to do a bigger trial of martial law across multiple states.
What might happen socially, Dr. Bill? Because at the moment there are a lot of people, as you must know, who are getting exceptionally upset and angered by what's happening here.
I think socially what's going on is there's a number of state militias that are not part of the federal militia system that are getting ready. I think that the federal government is starting to do FEMA exercises for mass evacuations, but they don't really have the proper places to put all these people. If they had to evacuate out, say, 30 million people, what are they going to do? Where are they going to put them all? Hmm. During the Katrina, my brother and his family went to, I think they went up to Dallas. But do you have enough hotels and enough places? Are you going to put them on these civil detention camps we've been building with Kellogg, Brown, and Root all across the country? And by the way, they have enough facilities now in these KBR prison camps, including the ones that were passed last year by that Florida congressman who helped get it passed, where they built them on 6 large military bases, including city streets and schools and everything. They can actually house 30 million people in these civil detention camps now. It's not good.
It fits horribly well, doesn't it? It fits together.
Yeah, and I think what they want to do is they want to do a dry run of their civil detention camps, and they'll probably try to make it look relatively, hey, look, they'll show pictures. See, it's terrible what happened, but here America rallied together, and we're a stronger nation for it, and all this stuff. So America, it will recover, and America will be much more dangerous. It'll be like a clenched titanium alloyed fist against the world, because this will precipitate the new world green currency. It'll precipitate cap and trade. It will change the entire nature of automobiles, where the regular gas-powered automobile will be a thing of the past. It'll have to be biofuels or biodiesel or electric, because it'll be regulated out of existence. It's going to get crazy, and I think they want to do this because what they do to America will be done to the whole world very quickly thereafter. Because, as I say, 65% of the world currency is denominated in U.S. dollars. When they push to this new crisis in Europe and North America, and China's overheated economy is about to go too.
Yeah.
We're looking at probably by next year a collapse and a resurrection of America. I see America as collapsing and resurrecting between now and next year, and I see Europe as the economy is crashing. Their European Union was just completed with the Treaty of Lisbon, 27 nations, 14 core Eurozone nations. And now they're talking about balkanization. It's because they want to fail forward toward their goal. And their goal is where the banks are the world government, where the Bank of International Settlements, the IMF, and the World Conservation Bank, and everything has a green tax. They'll fly over your house with a helicopter in the winter and see if you have thermal leaks. They'll tell you if you don't do A, B, and C to your house to reduce water usage. Everything will have a green. Even getting a pet, you'll have to pay a licensure green tax to have a pet, because a cat will be one SUV unit and a dog will be two SUV units.
What's the optimum best case scenario? We've been talking about the worst case scenario. How could this work out okay for us?
Well, the best case scenario is this. The best case scenario would be that we have a sweep of most of the incumbents out of the Congress and Senate this November. I have a feeling that they see it coming, so they want a major distracting catastrophe between now and November. So I see a very grave probability, very high probability, that there'll be a sufficient enough catastrophe that they'll try to see if they can remain incumbent.
Are there enough insiders who are becoming actively concerned and waking up and willing to take action and willing to break ranks on the inside to make any change in ways that you and I might not even be aware of right now?
Yes, there is, yeah. I see that the insiders are getting extremely ticked off of what's going on, and there's a grave possibility that we may be looking at a military coup before the election if it goes toward a state of national emergency. So Obama, if he declares a state of national emergency, he could be dealing with a military coup by the Joint Chiefs of Staff and the Pentagon, because he knows the agenda is their level of incompetence is boundless. During Katrina, I talked to doctors that literally were shot at by guards when doctors had to carry a gun to go safely from their home, which was in a safe area of Louisiana, to hospitals, and they disarmed them. They even shot at people crossing overpasses that were completely dry, and they're trying to get out of the city.
Yep.
So FEMA cut lines for communication for the parishes down there so that people couldn't get food in, even when they came in on barges or boats. They amplified, I call it the Federal Emergency Magnification Agency. They're not a management agency. They magnify it. So they will magnify the crisis to crush the spirit of the American people, so they'll be willing to tolerate this kind of foolishness when we know that if